Those of you that have been watching the news recently know that a very prominent member of the Catholic Church came to San Antonio, Texas to visit. And that is what this packet deals with, is the Pope's visit. This was a section from the San Antonio newspaper about the papal visit. Also in this packet is a $3 bus token. It was good for a round trip to and from the Sunday Mass that he held on September the 13th, 1987. And these are some other items dealing with his very special visit. And of course, a picture of John Paul. And I'll lay these out on the table so that you can see them.
I was really happy to see a Wrangler Roundup up there because that's why I was asked to speak. When we moved over here from Madison, I was a substitute at Madison Wood, and Mrs. Devlin offered me a full-time position because they needed one more teacher. So I came over in March, and then at the end of that year, and that she asked me if I would teach a 7th and 8th grade journalism class. I was really an English teacher, and I said, okay. I did have some certification that said I was qualified, and I had been the editor of the Coyote Yips in Potter, Nebraska, my junior year. It was more of a typing experience than a journalistic endeavor. So anyway, I took over. I had no curriculum guide. Marianne Boehm, whom some of you will remember, gave me a wonderful workbook, and I talked to other journalism teachers in the district, and we forged ahead. And I was so happy today to see Kathy Mayer, who was in that first class. Where are you, Kathy? Yes. And we had no computers in the English department. They were in the math department, so I mostly word processed it at home. And then the kids would come over to my house sometimes, and we'd put it together and have pizza. And it was just an interesting, fun experience, frustrating sometimes because sometimes the Xerox machine didn't work, and Ann Strataman had to come and help me all the time. And but it was interesting. So I'm interested to see. I'm just going to read a few headlines. Mrs. Jindra to retire. Roddy Stinson speaks at the NJHS. 6th graders launch balloons, and these stories were written by Julie Wood, Denise Baratko, Suzanne Lyons, Todd Lee. Lots of winners. Here's, let me see here. Would Weight Watchers win by losing? We had a Weight Watcher thing going. Science students enjoy YO Ranch Weekend by Jennifer Muse, M-U-I-S-E. Skate tough. People hung from the fences as Q96 rocked the tennis courts at Wood's first skateboard rodeo. Remember that? I don't remember that. Judge John, there's an article about Judge John Howland Wood. Wood, the school that Coulterman built. There was an article about Mr. Coulterman, who was Karen and Janice's father, and he built the school. And let me see if there's just a couple other things, Sid, here. I noticed on the back we had song dedications. I'd forgotten that. Kids could put to Nick, Living on Prayer from Guess Who. Karate Kids Strike Again. Sugar Ray Takes Split Decision. And we had, I guess this is a sports page. Wood SAAC swimming starts, and so on. And there's a lot more here. It's just fascinating. And Down here, I remember I put goodbye because I think this is the last issue that I had anything to do with. So I'll put it back up here in case anybody wants to listen.
Well, Mrs. Brown and I were asked because when the time capsule was put in, I was here as a teacher and Miss Brown was my student. And so now that we're taking it out, she's going to be my student again. She's going to hand me the articles that we're going to try to go quickly through them. The first was, this is the old student parent handbook, which is all now electronic. So kids had a hard copy of the student parent handbook that was this big. Believe it or not, we still had calculators back then, so we have a little calculator that we got to do. Okay, how many of you still have one of these? Anybody? VHS? Okay, guilty as charged, still have those. Before we could just go TV online, it was TV Guide. So we had an old TV guide of TV shows. I think one of the favorite movies was Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox. So that was the movie showing back then. Oh, magazines. We still have these. 17. Anybody still? Any of y'all still read 17? Oh, look, we have a guilt winner. Mad. I think they call them Mad Libs now. It's a Mad magazine. Oh, look, Mr. Griffith. A skateboarding magazine. Did you know they had those 25 years ago? Were you even born back then? Okay, Newsweek. So we had a Newsweek that's falling apart. So there you go. Newsweek. See? Do they still have Newsweek?
Yes.
Okay, Newsweek is still there. This is like another skateboarding. Boy, we liked skateboarding back then. Okay. Is there a saying on here? Mm-hmm. All right. Coke, a Cola Classic. I think it's still the same. And ooh, it's gum. It's melted on my finger. Gum, yay. All right, what is this?
Popular Spuds McKenzie.
I don't think we should show that. Friendship bracelet, what do y'all call them now? Friendship bracelets? Are they still yarn or are they beads?
Both.
Both? Okay, so here's old ones. Okay. Are we good? Don't mess with Texas bumper sticker. Yay, we like those. Okay, someone asked me what did we do before cell phones? I said landlines. They go, what's that? Here is a picture of a landline. It's attached to the wall and you can't walk around with it. So that is a picture of a landline. Back when we were there, the only mall was North Star Mall, where those big cowboy boots are. So we just have a picture of the boots, which are still there, so that's a good thing. Pizza was our favorite food. I believe that's still one of the staples of life. Pizza.
Floppy disk.
Huh. I know what this is. Do y'all know what this is? No, look at their faces. This is called a floppy disk. This was before, well,
The first
jump drive. Before that even. All right. Is this the letter we're looking for? No. This is just trivia. This is River Phoenix. He's not even alive anymore. Okay. Thank you. Okay. What else?
I think we went through all of it.
I think we went through all of it. Newspaper, there's called San Antonio Light, no longer in business. It's all Express News now, which is mostly online. So I think we're good. So there you go.
Thank you very much.
I'll go put this back up.
We are very pleased to have former Wood teacher and coach and current superintendent of Northeast, Dr. Brian Gotardy, to join us this morning. And he would like to share a few words with you about his time here at Wood and the changes he's seen.
Thank you, Christine, and thank you to your administration and your staff for putting on such a fantastic assembly here this morning. Wow, what a special day! One of the first treasures that I had back in 1985 was a burnt orange baseball cap for coaching at Wood, and I walk in this morning and the head coach hands me another Wood Middle School baseball cap, and I promise it'll be a treasure. You know, when you're brand new right out of college, 1985 was my first teaching assignment here at Wood Middle School. You'd never think for a minute you'd be coming to a 25-year dedication. So time has gone by extremely fast, but I honestly tell you that my time here at Wood Middle School, 85, 86, 86, 87, 87, 88, were 3 fantastic school years for me, and I truly believe that obviously laid the foundation for an educational career that I'm proud of, and that I'm very, very happy in the way things have transpired for me. I look back on that date, September the 17th, 1987. That was my 3rd year in teaching. I was probably down in the old metal gymnasium. Those of you remember the old gym that was extremely hot in the summer and extremely cold in the winter. That gym is no longer here. We've actually rebuilt that gymnasium into the new competition gymnasium, and now the old competition gym is obviously the practice gym. I look back on those times, and I can't help but thank some people, because as you look back on your career, as many of you do from time to time, you know that there are people who come across your path that absolutely have a huge impact on your career at that time, but then more about forming the type of person, the type of educator you are. Mr. Tom DeFawcett, my first principal in education, he took a chance on me back in 1985, right out of college, and I can't help but extremely thank him for everything he did for me as a school teacher and a coach. His staff back then consisted of Bill Fish, Mrs. Juanita Hayes, Mr. Jim White, Jim Carnahan. I look back on that administration and really thank them for, when you're 22 years old, 23 years old, it's easy sometimes to not always make the right kind of decisions. But with that kind of administration, they always had you in the right place, right time, doing the right kinds of things. And then my cohorts down in the gymnasium, teaching physical education and coaching. And I look at Coach Bart Bartoskowitz, who was my head coach. What a fantastic role model that I had back then, along with Doug Lansing. Doug was here, and John Heerhoser. And I still, to this day, try to keep up with those, all 3 of those gentlemen from time to time. And I look back and wow, 28 years later, here we are dedicating the 25-year time capsule. So it's been fantastic. What a great tribute to Wood Middle School and to the Wood Wranglers. And I can't wait to come back in 25 more years. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you, Dr. Gotardi. We are honored to be part of this piece of history and felt as though that was a tradition that should be continued. We have asked current teachers and students to help us in continuing to preserve our legacy at Wood Middle School. We will now have selected students and teachers present items that will be placed back into the time capsule for another 25 years.